Welcome back to the channel. Today we have the Real Avid multi-cutter. This is going to be a hunting pruning tool from Real Avid, and unfortunately this is no longer made, or fortunately depending on how you view this tool. So this originally was sold for around the $20 to $30 price range, and because of its quality, I definitely think it's not worth any more than that unless you're desperate to collect this. So I had never handled this tool. I hadn't really seen it much, so I paid, I think, a little bit too much on the used market. All right, so when it does have a lock, so you can unlock this right here. And then I have to say, it does do a fairly good job in its role as a cutter. So I have been fairly happy with that. It seems to have no issue with the branches that I picked up in my backyard. All right, so I also want to mention its size. So size-wise, this is going to be a lot bigger than many multi-tools. So for instance, this is going to be, I think it's around the 5 to 6 inch frame size. This is going to be the Gun Tool Max from Real Avid. This is going to be around the 4.5 inch frame. And so you can see that this Real Avid multi-cutter is a lot bigger. It definitely is bigger than the Real Avid Gun Tool Max. All right, so let's go ahead and look at its outside accessible tools. And it is going to have this tree stand drill. And this is going to be a tree stand starter. It is going to be essentially like a double-sided awl, almost like a little drill bit for the multi-tool here. So it's an interesting concept. I'm not sure. I guess it might work out okay. This is going to be a punch for the gun-related tools in your life. And then right here we have the saw as well. So this is, I guess, if you can't handle it with the cutters, you can use the saw. And then on this side, we have the drop point knife, and then what they describe as, I believe, the 440 claw point knife, I think is what they describe this as. And then also we have the choke wrench. So that is going to be for the shotguns as well. All right, so one of the other things I noticed is, like some other cheaper multi-tools, there is a lot of gaps here. So you'll notice that right here, it looks like they could have added some more multi-tools, even though obviously this is rounded here, so you have to leave some space. But I feel like they still could have added some smaller tools here at the bottom on each side. But anyway, 6 tools is all you get on each side, and that is a Real Avid multi-cutter. Now, options. This is no longer made anymore, so if you would be interested in something else or something similar, this is going to be another unique multi-tool from Cobalt, made at Lowe's, or sold at Lowe's. And you'll notice that it also has a cutter. This is for cutting PVC. I have tried out on twigs and it does work, but I know it's not designed for that. And this also has a similar tool set in that you only get 3 on each side. And then you'll notice there's a lot of gaps. So this also reminds me of the multi-cutter, but probably the best option still available is this professional multi-tool. This is going to be an out the front multi-tool. Paul Chin multi-tool is another name for it. This is going to be sort of using the Gerber design. It's got a pocket clip, it's got a knife, it has got a set of pliers, and I believe it also has a saw and a detachable file as well. So that is something sort of unique with this tool. It is very, very, very shiny. So I'll put that back in later. But it is tough enough to cut some small twigs. I'm not sure if that's what it's really designed for, but it does it. So at $13, you can afford to break it, I guess. But if you want a cheap cutter multi-tool, this might be something to think about throwing in your pack. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, this is no longer made, but if you see it on the used market, It's helpful sometimes to have a reference, look at its tool set, and decide if you really want to buy it or not. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.